Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Thursday, June 15th, 2023. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. 145 hurricane shelters have been identified across St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the 2023 hurricane season, which started on June 1st. The list of shelters was published today by the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO. 11 shelters have been listed for the North Windward area, 13 for North Central Windward, 8 for South Central, 10 for South Windward, 9 for East St. George, 7 for West St. George, 13 for Mariaqua, 11 for Kingstone, 14 for South Leeward, 9 for Central Leeward, 13 for North Leeward, 10 for Northern Grenadines, and 17 for the Southern Grenadines. On NBC Radio recently, Director of the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, Michelle Forbes, said they have been trying their best to ensure there is enough shelters in place to serve the country in the event of a major disaster.
I don't think we'd ever have enough if we really have a major emergency, because we know the population. We can expect about 20% of the population to be displaced if we really have a major hit, to be honest. And we're seeing this is a trend that you see across the region, even from the Irmas and the Marias, of the total population that was displaced. So we always have to plan for that type of numbers in mind. So the emergency shelters, we have about 162 on the list this year. Of course, some of them are private, will not be listed, especially in Mustique. We have been partnering with Mustique in particular, and doing their shelter inspection in Mustique. So we have about 162.
Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Salves is hoping for the opening of the Sandals resort at Bookament Bay in February of 2024, so that it can coincide with a big event that the government is planning for the same month. On NBC Radio yesterday, Prime Minister Gonsalves said work on the hotel is expected to be completed at the end of this year and will add 350 rooms to the hotel room stock in the country.
Sandals is proceeding well. Sandals, the construction should be finished sometime by the end of this year. The contractors will pass over the building to the owners. The end of this year, January the latest, I've been advised. They're thinking of opening in March, or they have to, when you have a hotel of that kind, you have to do trial runs and the like now.
Yes.
With all the systems in place. I'm trying to see if they can do it in February for a particular reason, which I've made to them. It would be a wonderful thing if it were open, because we are thinking of having a big event in February next year. So it would be wonderful if it's opened for that occasion.
Providing an update on other hotel and resort projects being constructed on the island, Prime Minister Gonsalves said they are proceeding quite well.
The Holiday Inn, you pass, you see that's proceeding quite well.
Very nice.
The works continuing at, I'm hoping to see the works ramped up more at Ratta Mill, at the Royal Mill, and down at Black Sands. The hotel project, in relation to both the government and the Trinidad investors, that is to say the Marriott, there's some new timelines, and we are hoping that we can see some construction begin later this year. They were thinking about maybe the first quarter, but we're trying to see if we can help them revise those timelines. But matters are proceeding there between ourselves and our investment partners out of Trinidad, people who are in that particular business of building and running hotels.
President of the opposition New Democratic Party, the NDP, Dr. Godwin Friday, has visited farms across St. Vincent and the vegetable markets in Kingstone to highlight the importance of the agriculture sector as a pillar of the economy. A news release from the party said the visit comes after Dr. Friday's speech at the recently held Hope Rally, in which he offered to build an economy by creating more and better jobs for Vincentians, with economic plans centered on 4 pillars: agriculture, tourism, the blue economy, and the new economy. The news release said Dr. Friday and other members of the NDP will be making a number of visits to farmers to listen to them and discuss the challenges they face. The NDP leaders plan to make agriculture a pillar of the economy includes 1. Develop a cooperative system to help farmers purchase inputs at lower cost. 2. To provide financing for new equipment to make farmers more productive. 3. To focus on developing high-value crops. 4. Increase domestic markets by encouraging hotels to buy local produce. 5. Zero tolerance for pretty larceny. Develop local agro-processing sector with a focus on overseas markets, ensuring there are sustainable export markets abroad. 7. To assist farmers encourage them in organic farming to fetch higher prices for their produce. 8. Develop a marketing agency to market farm produce. The NDP said its agricultural plan will ensure that there is a sustainable and efficient food security system, which will be geared towards a significant reduction in the country's food import bill. Enumerators are expected to be out in the fields from tomorrow, Friday, June 16th, to commence 2023 housing and population census being conducted under the slogan, "They counting you, they counting me." The information will benefit the whole country. Chief Statistician in the Ministry of Economic Planning, Laverne Williams, said the census is very important for the country's development and encourage Vincentians to cooperate with the enumerators, whom she said are expected to take an oath of secrecy before they go out into the fields tomorrow to begin collecting the data, noting that this is one way of ensuring confidentiality of the information provided. Williams said during the interview exercise, the head of each household is expected to provide information for all of the occupants.
There might be situations or cases where they might not have all the information, and the enumerator might have to, return to follow up on some of the information. Or if there is, so that is the first thing that the enumerator has to establish when the person visits the household. You have to establish who is the head, and if that person is given the information, the question that will follow would ask, if I am the head of the household and I'm giving the information for you, Johnny, then I have to ask, you have to establish what is the relationship of John to the head of the household.
Okay, so my son.
Yeah. Right. So that is established. So we will do a questionnaire for every person in the household. Mind you that there are some questions. There are some questions that will not be asked to every person in the household. Like for the males, we'll not ask about fertility.
And pregnancy.
Right, and pregnancy. For persons who are under 15, we will not ask about employment, activity. So there are some questions that will not be asked for every person. So if an enumerator or an interviewer goes to a household where you have a lot of children, that person, all you need to know is to get the basic information about those persons, as I said, the age, the sex, the basic demographic, and some other basic information, and that's it.
What would you say to persons who are worried that persons are coming into their homes to ask their questions? What would you say to persons to quell that kind of worry?
I would let them know that, census is not really anything new. We have been doing censuses ever since. And just to stress again, all I can say, that your data, the information, the data that you will provide us is very confidential. You don't have to worry if the statistical office is going to take that data and share it with somebody else. No, we want to let you know, to assure you that the data will be held in strictest of confidence. And we have been, as I said with the tablet, we've been putting things in place to ensure that, the data is encrypted, the high security features that would be on the tablets, that the enumerator will only have access to that interviewer app, the app that is on the tablet for them to conduct the interview. And as soon as they finish conducting the interview, then we will have that information sent to our server.
Williams also noted that all of the enumerators will be easy to identify in the field.
Each enumerator will be carrying a badge, an identification card with their picture ID in the statistical office and the signature of the chief statistician at the back of that ID card. Also, they will be wearing a reflective vest with the statistical office at the back and the census and the stats office logo on each side of the breast.
So anyone can walk on the street?
No one can just walk in the street and say that I'm representing. And also, they will have an appointment letter, because when they'll have to sign to the appointment letter stating that they take the job, and it has the conditions under which they are employed or will be employed. They sign to that. So the interviewee, it's within their right to ask them to show them that letter as well. All the means of identification.
Do you have specific times that enumerators can go to their homes to do it to them?
No, persons will walk at their own pace. The important thing is to get the information. But what we would have said to them in the training, just walk wisely and smartly, because what we would have done over the past, and what we're gonna do this time around, or have done this time around, because we have already assigned the enumerators to their enumeration district. We try to assign persons as close as possible to where they live. All right, because transportation issues, and you might have some persons who might have to go at different times, so they will plan out. That's what we say to them: plan out your schedule properly. If you know that Johnny P is not gonna be home until 4:30, then you'll have to visit him at that time. So somebody who is home during the day, you visit those persons, like our farmers that go to the land, and they come home at a certain time. You'll want to plan your schedule so that you can catch them. You can meet them at home, because Johnny, we have to interview everybody will have to be counted. We're going into private homes, even the institutions, persons who are institutionalized, our prisons, the hospital, our nursing homes. We have to, but it just means that the institutions will not be interviewed in the same way. It's just basic information that we would gather from our institutional population.
The National Housing and Population Census is set to run for a period of 12 weeks, with the data collection exercise ended on September 15th. Welcome back. A Vincentian woman residing in the UK has been charged with murdering her 2 children and the attempted murder of her husband. According to media reports from the UK, the 2 children, Ethan 11 and Elizabeth 7, were both found unresponsive with significant injuries at their home in Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire. John's husband, Nathan, reportedly suffered stab wounds to his stomach after she allegedly attacked him at his workplace, a car wash near the family home. John appeared in the UK court today and was remanded into custody and is due back in court on Friday. According to the Telegram, a neighbor who spoke with the father after he was discharged from hospital said he is absolutely devastated that he has lost his 2 beautiful children. In other news, Vincentians are being encouraged to eat foods that are rich in protein in order to have a healthy and strong immune system to fight against flu and other infectious disease during the season. The advice comes from infectious disease specialist Dr. Gerald Thompson on his Health Matters program today. Dr. Thompson said protein is especially important for younger children and the elderly.
With protein are so important to our body. You know why? Our muscles are made and built by eating protein. But that's one of the main functions of protein, to help growth and strength. I talked about being a young age and being an elderly person. Those are persons who need some good protein. But do you know protein is also important for your skin? Your skin. And then your nails. People who don't eat a lot of protein, their nails start to get funny. Their nails start to look funny and have a problem. And then let me tell you about your immune system. Your immune system is made up predominantly of protein. The blood cells, the white blood cells, they're all protein, they're packed with different type of proteins and so. So when people are in starvation, when people are on a hunger strike, when people are living in areas where they ain't getting enough protein, where kids ain't getting enough protein, their immune system starts to function badly. And what does that mean when the immune system starts to function badly? Infection.
The infectious disease specialist also outlined the different protein sources in animals and plants. He added that animal protein is considered to be superior to plant protein.
You could either have animal protein or plant protein. You hear that? If you're vegetarian or vegan, you'll be going more to the plant protein. And if you are somebody who love your meat, you are going for more the animal protein. But I want to talk a little about that. Now, listen to me very carefully. Animal protein is considered to be superior to that of plant protein. I find that strange. Number two, that the plant protein is better absorbed. At three, that plant protein in your food rarely is made up of something called amino acids. Amino acids. And guess what? There are 22 of them. 22 known amino acids. And guess what? 9 to 10 of them are essential amino acids. By what I mean by that is that your body is able to make 12 or 13 amino acids on its own.
As part of their Child's Month activities, staff and students of the Spring Village Methodist Preschool visited the Eden Home for the Elderly here at Dorsetshire Hill today and distributed a few gift baskets to the residents. The students also got the opportunity to visit the Joseph Chatelier obelisk here, where provided with information on its history. Supervisor of the Spring Village Methodist Preschool, Joycelyn Joseph, spoke to SVG-TV News about their field trip today.
Initially, we were planning to visit the Eden Home last month, which was the month of May. Unfortunately, the date has to be changed to today. We are very happy. The children are very excited. We have the parents with us. And the folks at the Eden Home, they were very excited to see us as well. We brought a token for them, and we had fun. The children sang, and they were all happy to see us. The main purpose is a part of the Child Month activities, definitely. And visiting the home for the first time, I showed that it will not be the last. Well, the Spring Village Methodist Preschool, it's an outgoing school. We are always going out. We have tour throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It just means, well, the school, you know, we have to own like a plane to go in the Caribbean. And every year we see it fit to take out the children. It is a good thing for them to know their country, know different places. We have visited from the north to the west and to the south.
Joseph used the opportunity to encourage parents to do their part to keep their children safe and protected.
I definitely think so. The parents must care for the children. Don't leave it up for the teachers alone. Although when the children, when they come to school, they will go home and tell their parents. No, if they're trying to tell their child or children something, the children will definitely say, no, teacher say it's this, teacher say it's that. So I think we should join like hand in hand, the parents, and that is why the parenting session is very important at the school. When we do plan parenting session, to have the parents, especially the men, to be a part of that activity.
The children on the field trip blessed us with a special song.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's sing away and strong, having a lullaby and play, but never to a music of lying bed all day. We shall give our help and strength, and love is all we need. He bless, and children who are weak and ill, suffer pain and when we rest. Lord, give us love for love in arms. Show us and eat the
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.